Welcome to Primary 1 Meet the Teacher. In this presentation, we will be talking about the different learning that will be happening in Primary 1 at Trinity Primary. We have lots of different staff that help us in Primary 1. The 4 Primary 1 teachers are Mrs Lewis, Mrs Snedden, Miss Shirazi and Mrs McLeister. We also have Mrs Ashraf helping us throughout the week. Our pupil support assistants, or PSAs, are Patrick, Mrs Bryler, Alice and Mrs Kulchu. In Primary 1, we are taking a play-based approach to our learning. There will be lots of choice built into this. We're having a very flexible approach to our learning, and how we run it may actually change dependent on what happens. Each day, pupils will have focused teaching time in small groups with their teachers, covering literacy, numeracy and other areas of the curriculum. At the moment, the pupils will only work with their own class teacher and their own PSA. If circumstances do change, we may move to a model where the children will rotate around all 4 class teachers and PSAs across the year group. Children currently are learning in the classroom, the courtyard, secret garden and out in the playground. At the moment, we also have about 10 to 12 desks for pupils should they wish to be sitting down, writing, drawing or being creative.
We teach across a variety of areas in P1. Numeracy and maths, literacy and health and well-being are all subjects which are taught in their own right, often by themselves. We teach other subjects using themes incorporating various areas of the curriculum. For example, this year in social studies, we will look at our local area, and later on in the year, we will join in with the whole school topic of What a Wonderful World. P1 will take part in whole school events where circumstances allow. We have already enjoyed virtual assemblies in which we have shared achievements such as weekly superstars. P1 pupils are also given opportunities in class to help out and be responsible for different jobs. At Trinity, we teach phonics using a lot of different resources. Learners will have experience in listening, writing, using IT and singing songs to help them identify and learn all their sounds. In order to help the Primary 1 pupils form their letters correctly, we use the Read Write Ink resource you can see on this slide. Each letter has a different rhyme that explains the direction writing should go in, and it helps children to remember how to write the sound correctly each time.
We teach the foundations of numeracy using the SEAL programme. This is an active approach. Children will be introduced to the numeracy concept as a whole class, either through song or a story or a game, and then this will be followed up by the children working with a teacher and a PSA in small groups. Alongside numeracy, we will also teach some simple maths concepts, including 2D shape and 3D objects, o'clock and half past, measuring with non-standard units of measures, capacity, so whether something holds more or less than another. We will also look at simple fractions to support our knowledge of time, looking at one line of symmetry, money using 1 and 2 pence, and data handling and how we can use this information to make decisions.
You will be issued with a home learning jotter along with sound cards, which should all be kept at home. In due course, reading books will also be issued, and these will be returned to school on a weekly basis. The sound cards are for home use, to practice recognising each sound. Please say the sound rather than the name of each letter. For example, say rather than the name M, or rather than the name A. Once your child knows enough sounds, the cards can be used to make and sound out words to blend and read. Reading books will begin to be issued after the October break. You may receive a storybook to read to your child, or a wordless book which you can talk about together at home. You may receive a book from one of our reading schemes, which you can read with your child, helping them to sound out and blend simple words. Your home learning jotter should be kept at home until the date shown below. We would love to see all the work being done at home, so we will keep them and look through the jotters with the children before sending them back to you. The Read Write Ink sheet is found in your home learning jotter. We use the Read Write Ink rhymes to encourage the correct formation of each individual sound. Letter formation is taught alongside sound recognition. To encourage the correct formation of each sound, we may use fingers in foam, we may paint, draw or cut, as well as writing. We also encourage the children to hold their pencil in a pincer grip, which it is helpful to encourage at home if you can. The tricky word wall is also found in your jotter. These are words that cannot be sounded out and need to be learnt as a whole word that you can see. You can tick each brick once your child can recognise and read the word. Please practice these as much as you can at home.
In your home learning jotter, you will find two separate numeracy walls, Learning Wall A and Learning Wall B, and these give you some ideas as to the activities that you could do to support the numeracy learning in school. There are many ways in which you can support the learning in school at home, and we really appreciate your help with this. On this slide, you will find a link to some literacy and numeracy websites and some literacy and numeracy apps. This is in no way exhaustive, but it's a good starting point and will mirror the use of some websites and apps that we use in school.
Communication. The most significant form of communication we will be using to update you about your child's learning here in Primary 1 is our Twitter account. This can be found at P1 Trinity PS. Please do follow us so that we can add you, and please do return your permission slip if you haven't already. We also have a class page on the school website. The school website has more general information. We will also be creating a profile on each child, more information to follow. We will also be having parent consultations via telephone, where we will have a 5-minute telephone call with you to update you on your child's progress throughout Primary 1. If you have any questions at all, please do contact Cheryl Bertinison, our Deputy Head, and she can be emailed at the address on the PowerPoint slide. Additional information. Please ensure that your child's personal belongings are clearly named and labelled. Book bags, which are the thin coloured bags, can stay in school after the September weekend. This is to minimise the number of items your child is having to bring into school on a daily basis. Unless, of course, you're using this book bag as your main school bag, in which case you may continue to do so. We will then start using book bags once we issue reading books. Waterproof coats. Please do make sure your child has a suitable waterproof coat that is clearly labelled. A lot of our learning is taking place out of doors, and as the weather gets worse, we will require waterproof coats. The same for Wellington boots. Please do provide your child with a pair of Wellington boots clearly labelled, and these Wellington boots can be kept at school to lessen the amount of things going home. Snacks and water bottles. Please do make sure your child has a water bottle, and ideally fill it up at home before coming into school. Can you make sure your water bottle is also labelled? A snack should be provided for the morning interval. We hope that's everything that you need to know. However, if you have any questions, as we stated before, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. And thank you very much for listening.